So Gina Haspel is Donald Trump's pick for CIA director. Now, that she is replacing Mike Pompeo, of course, who will be at the Secretary of State and replace the now fired Rex Tillerson. Now, Haspel, her name has come up before, but has now come to the forefront because she appears to have a bit of a sketchy history. Now, this is according to Colin Combacker, writing for Law and Crime. Her history is, prior to her appointment as CIA Deputy Director, Haspel ran a secret CIA prison in Thailand, used to house, question, and allegedly torture detainees during the Bush administration. From 2002 to 2005, Haspel was an active participant in the CIA's Extraordinary Renditions program. Now, extraordinary renditions, it sounds like, oh, something serious. No, what they're doing is they basically could go and kidnap you. They could kidnap you or drag you from your home and take you to prisons, oftentimes in Eastern Europe, other times in different places, where then they could go and torture you. Because the government there, of course, is like, oh yeah, no, go ahead and operate your black site here so that you can torture these people. Well, isn't that wonderful? So that's what she did. And of course, they would, when they did this illegal kidnapping and torture program, they would do it at a black site. A series of off-the-books prisons where CIA agents and assets regularly allegedly tortured detainees over the course of several years. Now, Haspel was in charge of the CIA's Cat's Eye, which is a secret prison located in Thailand. Now, while she was there, she oversaw the daily torture of detainees, and according to media accounts and the memoirs of former CIA personnel, Haspel was personally involved in the torture of one Zain al-Abidin Muhammad Hassan, also known as Abu Zabudaya. Now, what's really important is that while this Abu Zabudaya is being tortured, and yes, I use the word tortured because that's exactly what happened. How else do you explain the consistent waterboarding or somebody having their head slammed into the wall repeatedly and being put in a coffin-sized box? Look, in some of the methods that were revealed, they would have people essentially go and dig their own graves. Now, look, some people will defend this saying, well, look, they're terrorists, and besides, it works. We're getting actionable intelligence. No, we didn't get any actionable intelligence. To be honest, torture does not work. The only reason that we employ it is actually to find out what answers that we actually want to find, that we want to hear. And one of the detainees actually figured it out. And this is the guy. And he says, well, they kept torturing me until I told them exactly what they wanted to hear, which is, in this case, well, Iraq worked with, Saddam Hussein worked with Al-Qaeda to perpetrate 9/11. That's what they wanted to hear so they could, of course, justify the invasion of Iraq. Now, in July of 2012, Haspel sent the following cable regarding Zubadeh's eventual torture. They said, team is ready to move to the next phase of interrogations immediately upon receipt of approvals authorization from ALEC headquarters. It is our understanding that the DOJ Attorney General approvals for all portions of the next phase, including the water board, have been secured, but that the final approval is in the hands of policymakers. Of course, as I said before, Zubaydah was waterboarded at least 83 times. 83 times. Haspel allegedly, while she was there, oversaw the two psychologists, Mitchell and Bruce Jessen. These two men were the designers of the torture techniques and who actually carried out the torture on prisoners, according to CIA whistleblower John Kiriakou, who was then prosecuted by the Obama administration for leaking classified information about the CIA's torture program. So look, the torture program is not a Republican thing. It's not a Democratic thing. It is bipartisan. Both parties are okay with torture. And that was evidenced in President Obama saying, oh, no, we only look forward, not backwards. So that's the only reason why Gina Haspel and anybody involved in the torture program is not in prison right now. She is a literal war criminal. And not only that, but she also tried to destroy the documents. You know, she destroyed the documents that showed the torture. She should absolutely be in prison. Again, torture is illegal, not only in other countries or through international pacts, but it's also torture. It's also illegal under U.S. law. But of course, as I said, Obama announced blanket immunity for any and all officials engaged in the Bush administration's torture program. She's not a good person. She's a terrible person. And as I said before, she does not belong as head of the CIA. She belongs in a prison cell. Now, there is a group of people, of countries, that actually want to put her there. On June 6, 2017, the European Center for Constitutional and Human Rights initiated a request for legal action against Haspel by filing an intervention with the German Federal Public Prosecutor, the foremost law enforcement authority in the Federal Republic of Germany. This office is held by Attorney General Peter Frank. So here's a group, a human rights group, petitioning Germany to say, this woman is a war criminal, and if she comes to Germany, if she comes to Europe, then we should arrest her for war crimes. Awesome. Now, ECCHR's legal intervention was made by way of the six-page document titled CIA Torture, Submission on Gina Haspel to German Federal Prosecutor. Immediately after ECCHR submitted the request, Frank's office confirmed that this request was received and is being formally reviewed. Now, the request, of course, is based on a violation of the Human Rights Article 3, which prohibits torture and inhumane or degrading treatment or punishment. Well, that's exactly what happened. Again, making people dig their own graves, waterboarding 83 times. And by the way, you shouldn't have to waterboard somebody 83 times to get the answer. No, they're not looking for the answer. They're looking for a specific leading question, right? That's what they're doing. They ask leading questions to try to get a specific answer. And the answer, of course, in this case, as I said before, is that, well, Saddam helped 9/11, worked with Al-Qaeda, which wasn't true. It wasn't true. It wasn't true. Saddam Hussein had nothing to do with 9/11. But again, we use this as a justification to invade Iraq. More wars for oil, right? Now, in a statement, ECCHR's General Secretary Wolfgang Kalik said, those who commit or allow torture should be brought before a court. This is especially true for senior officials from powerful nations. The prosecutor must, under the principle of universal jurisdiction, open investigations, secure evidence, and seek an arrest warrant. If the deputy director travels to Germany or Europe, she must be arrested. So, look, if this, if this actually goes through and gets passed, and if she gets confirmed by the Senate, we would have a CIA director that cannot officially travel to Europe or Germany, which I understand Germany is inside of Europe, but Europe as a whole. That's amazing. Oh, it's so disastrous. And this is fear of arrest for being a torturer. Again, she should not be in this position. She should have never been in this position. She should be in a jail cell. And look, hopefully she does not get confirmed. I do not have much hope. I mean, I'm seeing Chuck Schumer talking about this, and I'm seeing Pelosi being absolutely fine with this. This is not good. So that could be our next CIA director. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.